Hello friends. In this video, we are going to have a discussion on extern variable that is used in C. So we'll see the practical use case of extern variable with warnings and errors that will come when we are using extern in very large project in which that variable is defined somewhere and used by multiple files. So here we will have the practical use case with all these points. We'll discuss one by one. Okay. So first of all, let's see what is an extern variable. So extern is a variable where we can use that variable for multiple files. So we can use a single variable. For example, if I have um, unsigned int, we have a variable name and g underscore var as it is a global variable and I define a value as 10. Okay. So I want this variable to shared between the various C files. So for that, what I will do, I will create a new file. For example, I create a b.c file, and what I will do here, I want to access the same variable in this function. For example, I have an increment function defined in file b.c, and I will just print it first. Okay, so here I will take the function name, then the value of p underscore var is equal to percentage d, and the variable name is g underscore var. Okay, so I'm printing it here. So I will take include stdio.h here. So if we run it, we go to file.a, and here also I will print the value of. So here also I will do after, sorry, before value of g underscore var is equal to percentage d. Okay, and g underscore var, and after that I will call that function, that is increment. Okay, then after that I will print the value. Okay, so what I did here, I define a variable globally, and I need to print in here. So do I get the error first? So what I will do, I will just compile file a.c and file b.c. Okay, so you got an error where in file.b it says this variable is not declared there. So let's declare that variable in file b.c, and here what I will do, to access that variable in a second file, I will use an extern variable and use unsigned int g underscore var. So by using this extern variable, we can fetch the value of g underscore var in this file and we are printing it. Okay, so better what I will do, I will increment this variable here. So what I will do, I will take this g underscore var in this increment and then increment it, then I am printing the incremented value here. When I compile it again, I get a simple implicit declaration of the function increment. Okay. For now, we can avoid this because we are not using the header file. So better the function declaration was not there. So when I run, what I will get. So this is file A. We are getting 10 value. After an increment, the value is 11. So this is a function we define in file b.c. So they can access the value of g underscore var incrementing it. After that, the same file in file a.c, we are getting 11 value, incremented value. So this function automatically increment that variable in file.b, and that same variable is accessed in file a.c. So how we get to know this is the same variable? For that, what I will do, I will open the file a.c again, and I will print the address, memory address of this variable as well. So I have g underscore var g underscore var comma percentage p, and file p.c also. I'll get the g underscore var, and here I will print the address. Okay. So I compile it again. If I again run it, you will see the address of this variable is same. Okay, from here we can see, okay, this variable is same and it's being used in multiple files. Okay, so this is one thing. So what's new about this variable? So this variable is defined in one place and declare in various files to access that variable. Okay, so what if I declare this variable like in here? Now I defined it here as well. So let's see what will happen. So if I have this variable and I define it here, I define it 7. So now if I compile it, you'll get a LD linker error. So it says that this G initialized declaration extern. Okay, so this is not the proper way to do this. So only one place this variable should be defined, that is here. So what if I remove this declaration from here? Okay, and now if I compile it again, your linker array is gone. But you should not use this thing because with extern, whatever variable we define with extern, that should not be defined. Okay, so better I will remove, I'll make it 10 again, and in file b.c I'll remove this. So if you are using this variable in multiple files, this extern variable you should use for accessing this variable only. If you want to increment or decrement, then do it within that function wherever it is being used. Okay, so in certain files, if we are using this extern variable here as well, I will do multiple times. Okay, will I get an error or warning for this? No, you won't get any error or warning. Everything works as it is. Okay. So next thing, this extern variable should not be defined in file. Better we can define this variable in some header file. So I will define one header file, header.c, and here I will take if not if underscore underscore header underscore as define underscore header. So this is the guard hash and if, and here what I will do extern unsigned int g underscore var, and the same header I will include in both the files. Okay, so in spite of using this, okay, I will use this and header dot h. Okay, and what I will do in this file, so this I remove, better I use header dot h. If I compile it again, you'll get no such file or directory. Oh, so header dot c2, header dot h. Now I compile it again. Yes. Now the same behavior will be there. So wherever I want to access this variable, we can access this header file for that. But you will get to know, like by declaring declaring that variable as extern in multiple files, you won't make any difference or there is no warning because it is accessible through only one particular memory. Okay. So what if now I will use a constant to this variable. So I'll open file a.h, and here what I will do, I will take constant. So what will happen now? Once you define it constant, this variable value become constant. That's 10 only. So if I compile it, you will get errors. So what is that error? Conflicting type qualifier for g underscore var. Okay. So in header also, if I define it constant, then what is the output? Okay, so now you got one error. Error increment of read only variable g underscore var. So we are increment that value in that increment function. So what I will do, if I comment it out, I'm not incrementing the read only variable. So now you will get the correct value 10, 10, 10 everywhere with same memory. So you should be very cautious by using the constant keyword. Okay. So next thing is in the header file, in spite of using extern and constant, I will use static. Okay. So what will happen now? So you will get an error. Non-static declaration of this follows static declaration. You will get some errors because in static that is defined in only one file, while in extern you will define in multiple files. So if I open this again, I comment it out here, or I removed it. I don't want that extern variable or something. And now same thing. If I increment it and in header file we have static here. So what will happen? Now our file b.c have static variable and a are using the name as same, but they are quite different. So what will happen now? If I compile it again, so you see here that the value of g underscore variable remains the same. Before and after both values is 10 10. But in increment, the value become 1 because that static variable which is there in file b.c, that is 0 initially, and after increment this value become 1, and this address is also different. So you should be very cautious while using the same variable name for static and external. So try to avoid these mistakes. So this is all about the basics of external variable.